Hey everyone, welcome to this week's episode of Geekus Speakus. This is Dean.
This is Bryan. Holy shit, this is the first one of the year of 2018.
I know.
All right? I mean, everyone who was born in the 90s is now an adult.
I thought I'd be dead by now. I'm a
Yeah.
very pessimistic person.
Spite keeps me alive. Pure spite.
Anger keeps me alive. I'm like Mr. Burns. Anger keeps me going. The bile is what keeps me alive to this point.
The anti-life justifies my hate.
Yeah. Well, welcome to 2018's episode, the first one, everyone. How was your collective New Year, Decemberine, if you will?
I did some housework on Christmas. It snowed here, so that was kind of fun. Made some pizza, drank a bit. New Year's was fine. I went over to my buddy Alan Laura's place. We played some board games and had a good lamb dinner for New Year's.
Nice. Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. Christmas Day, I hung out with my parents, talked with my brother briefly, and I got like a headset which I can't use because it has like a full actual like audio equipment plug-in, and my mic uses, yeah, like it's the type of plug-in you would put into a soundboard, that which we do not use. So, I can't use it yet. I have to get a converter. I also got some t-shirts, and then I did nothing for New Year's.
Cool. I got a pair of slippers, some pajama pants, and some summer sausages. And I guess this mug, but my mom was excited to give me that mug, but I'll be honest, I think I'm just going to use it as a pencil holder. I don't know, it was this cool Lego one that she's like, oh, excited to get you. And I'm like, I was kind of looking at the other day going like, I'm never going to use this. I don't really drink many hot liquids, and I have a good mug already. So I'm just going to use it as a pencil holder.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
You both are barely going to use what we got. Well, I don't know. You might use the pajama pants.
I already used the pajama pants, and I used the slippers. The slippers are nice. And I like summer sausage, so that's all good.
Yeah. How long did that last?
I still have a little bit of it left. I got to finish it tonight, though. It's
nice.
Like, I didn't open it immediately. I only opened this one like earlier this week, so.
Cool. Did you do anything with it? Did you like put on crackers or just eat it like straight up by itself?
I ate it straight up. We were drinking. We ate the one sausage. I had two of them. We ate one of them while we were playing board games. But the other one I've been eating just kind of straight up.
Gotcha. So, well, ready to begin this episode like we do every time?
Yeah, but I found this. I found this tweet. It's a shared hot spring between capybaras and humans. Yeah. I reshared it. I retweeted it.
He retweeted it. Well, let's go ahead and begin this week's episode like we do in most episodes when we're not ranting about whatever it is that we did, and do trailer talk.
Trailer talk. So, I need to go to that eventually. I would like to go to MagFest one of these days. But it's on the East Coast, and that's kind of East Coasty.
Well, let's just say I'm not going to the East Coast anytime soon right now.
I can't find it. I retweeted part of it, but I can't find the rest of whatever. I was looking at the list today, our magical list of stuff that we go off of, and holy shit, even with the ones like I sent you, all of these are adaptations, sequels, reboots, or remakes, except for one.
One's a straight to DVD. I want to point that out. We're going to get to that, of course, but one's a straight to DVD. They're not even giving it a shot.
All right. So I'm gonna start here with this. let's start with the first one I got on my list, just because it happens to be the first one. A sequel for Ocean's 13, 14. We got a spin-off sequel of Ocean's 8.
Yep, it's the all-female cast of Oceans 13, 14, 19, 22, whatever.
I lost track after I only saw like the first one.
I still have not seen either the original one with Frank Sinatra and his group.
I've seen that one, and I've seen the George Clooney one, and the Rat Pack one is really good.
I just never really it wasn't really something that appealed to me. I was like, oh, it's like you got 13 actors to do one heist. Cool, I guess. Not...
It's basically like the same kind of thing that The Expendables does.
Well, no, let me clarify this. What I mean by this is that I see nothing wrong with it. There's just not enough of there for me to be interested in it. It's kind of, you think that movie was okay. I mean, I probably won't watch it again, and I really didn't really mean to seek it out, but it was okay. It's kind of that's what the Ocean's series has always given that vibe off to me. It's like, I don't care. This doesn't look like it's that interesting, but if it's on, I'll watch it, and then probably won't watch it again unless it's already on again. So
I get you.
That's what it always seemed like to me. And people I know loved Ocean's 11, and I just like,
It's okay.
But yeah, so
it's harmless.
This one's Ocean's 8, and it is starring Sandra Bullock and a bunch of other female actors who I honestly can't identify right now, except for what was her name? She played
Helen Bonham Carter.
Thank you.
The woman who was in every, Tim Burton's wife, who was in every Tim Burton movie, starring alongside Johnny Depp.
Yes. You would think at this point that they have a thing going with Johnny Depp, but yes. Besides those two, I didn't recognize most of the cast.
Let me go ahead and double check this cast real quick, and I can see if I can. So Sandra Bullock, Danny Ocean's sister, Kate Blanchett.
Oh yeah, I know about Kate Blanchett.
Yeah, you know Kate Blanchett. Yeah. She's fucking the elf lady.
Yeah.
Anne Hathaway.
I really feel like Anne Hathaway gets way more hype than she deserves.
Well, I know one of her movies she did it topless, and she got famous for that for a little bit. It was like one of her earlier roles too.
Yeah, so they're stealing a necklace, and it's all female cast, and the aspect of like 2016's Ghostbusters, where it's like, oh look, it's the old version, but with an all female version instead.
Okay. Sexploitation. Okay, Anne Hathaway. One of her scenes in her early movies was a sexploitation shocker called Havoc. Called Havoc. Yeah, called Havoc. It was a 2005 movie. So like before she became like actually like famous-ish, she was in a sexploitation movie.
Interesting.
She also was in Love and Other Drugs with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Gotcha.
And that also had nudity. So she's been naked on camera. And that's, I guess, a thing.
I'm surprised.
Now you know.
I'm surprised that, like, if they're going to bring in a bunch of women to do this, they didn't use someone who people are more known for their action movies starring, I probably screwed up that sentence, but, people who are more known for their action movies, like Sigourney Weaver, I could believe her as a thief. I have a hard time believing Anne Hathaway as a thief.
Yeah, she was not a very good Catwoman.
Sandra Bullock, I can kind of, because she's, how to put it, she's had such an ambiguous career. She can go pretty much wherever she wanted, short of like badass. I wouldn't believe her as a badass, but I could see Sigourney Weaver as a thief, but I can't see Anne Hathaway as a thief. I just like no. You look at the kind of person that people have just given you things over your life. I don't believe this at all. I don't know her story immediately, but it just doesn't seem like she would be a good thief.
Yeah. All right. What's the next one on the? What's the next one I got here? Death Wish, the second trailer.
Yep, we talked about this on a previous episode. Good old revenge flick. I
like Bruce Willis, but I don't know if he's a Charles Bronson.
Yeah, I know. It just kind of trying to give off a Charles Bronson like vibe, and I'm like,
because Charles Bronson was the original Death Wish guy, and I don't know. I feel Charles Bronson's actually a little more intimidating than Bruce Willis. I mean, not that Bruce Willis isn't intimidating.
I don't know. Like, I see him as intimidating I don't know. Maybe it was just we could stop with the remakes here, because it's not like he hasn't done, or Bruce Willis has not done a few revenge flicks in his days. God knows he has, but is there really is that all we have to offer him nowadays? I don't expect him to do anything like hard hitting drama, but surely we can do something better than revenge flicks for this guy who's been acting since what, the 80s, 70s. We can do better than that,
Yeah.
especially a remake. But of course, check it out if you want to go watch it. But honestly, the second trailer has got me to the point where I was like, well, this is going to be a standard revenge flick. And that's going to sound bad because last time we said we both like revenge flicks, but this one does not look that unique.
It doesn't look unique. I'd still watch it, but like it looks like what was another one that I was supposed to watch that I never did. I still need to watch the Keanu Reeves one, and I still need to watch the remake of Old Boy.
Old Boy?
Old Boy. You never seen Old Boy?
No.
It was a part of a trilogy. I only saw the one. It was a Korean movie, a Korean revenge movie, and it has this, if you're gonna watch one thing from it, find the hallway fight scene because it's one of the best choreographed fight scenes I've ever seen, and they did a remake of it in the States.
Huh.
And it came out not too long ago, and I heard it was okay, and they did the fight scene really well. I just haven't seen it.
Gotcha. As far as this goes, the second trailer actually kind of ruined it for me, believe it or not. Because the first show was like, all right, you got me at least behind this for now. And the second trailer was like, well, this looks like Frank Castle if we remove Frank Castle. That's all this looks like.
Yeah, a little bit. Also, I think Charles Bronson was a cop in the original one.
Yeah, I want to say that's right. It's been a long time.
I'll have to double check.
Yeah.
Oh, he's an architect.
Oh, wait, okay, no. See, the Doctor makes more sense than the Architect. Oh, spoiler alerts, everyone, I guess.
It's in the trailer. It's not a spoiler. God damn it, I'm sorry. If it's in a trailer, it's not a spoiler.
Oh, I disagree. We talked about this when it comes to the Kingsman trailer. How they
I assume everyone who listens to us has seen these trailers. Oh, shit! Jeff Goldblum was in the original Death Wish?
Wait, what? Really?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now because I found the thing about him being. I was double checking the synopsis, and he's an architecture, blah 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 blah. But Jeff Goldblum as Freak Number One.
Oh,
his first movie. What? This was his first movie.
Just kind of as an extra. Interesting.
1974 Charles Bronson film Death Wish. It was his first movie.
Now,
yeah,
we just learned something today.
Right?
I don't know. Like, I'll probably still watch it, but honestly, it looks like a standard dumb action movie. I'm not looking forward to this one, believe it or not. I was for the first time, but now I'm like, no.
Yeah, that's fair. But holy shit, Jeff Goldblum. That's.
Hold on.
I didn't realize.
I don't know how much you know about guns, but I'm a little annoyed that in Hollywood the hero always uses pistols when people have superior, way faster shooting guns. In this trailer, he's got a pistol and he's facing off people with like SMGs, and that actually annoys me a little because they should just be mowing him down.
Yeah, well, Hollywood also, every time it bothers me whenever I see like Hollywood stuff and the guy's like holding a gun and his finger's on the trigger, and you're like, don't put your finger on the trigger, you fucking moron.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm one of those liberal assholes, but even I know that.
Jesus Christ, man. Okay, ignoring that, because God knows I've seen plenty of movies where they've just, oh yeah, the heroes are taking it down with pistols, and it's even appeared in shows like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which has annoyed the crap out of me.
There should be if you're gonna have something like that, like have like somebody who knows what they're doing on there. All right, next trailer. Okay. You ready for this one?
Yeah.
The Woody the Woodpecker one.
Because that needed a remake, didn't it?
I literally shuddered the moment he showed up on the trailer. And then I had a sigh of relief when it was direct to DVD.
Yeah. I was like, oh, thank God, no theatrical release for something that didn't need another remake. Because this is like the fourth reiteration of Woody the Woodpecker. And I'm just like, why? And no, just why? Why just came up a lot there. Why?
It's so bad.
And like,
Oh my
did
god.
did did you see how some of the actors tried to react to the Woody the Woodpecker? You know, like pecking the guy's head, and like the pecking was not coordinated to the guy's head movement.
It all looked terrible. It looked so bad. Like this makes Alvin and the Chipmunks look
Good.
good.
Yeah, because the CG in this is so bad. It's not coordinated. I get Woody the Woodpecker is no longer like a sellable object in this day and age. Same way that like Looney Tunes are having a hard time, making a resurgence. But this is just garbage. Just utter garbage.
It yeah, it looks terrible.
Well, everyone, get ready to see that on direct to DVD because apparently even the studio didn't think it would do well enough. Thank God. So, before I lament on this, what's next on the trailer list there, Brian?
Give me 1 second. Sly Cooper, i.e., more furry inspiration.
Yeah, I know. Okay, the internet's gonna have a field day with this, but we're getting a Sly Cooper movie, which I'm in favor of the idea of a Sly Cooper movie because it was actually a pretty beloved video game series originally, kind of like how Ratchet and Clank was. But this looks okay so far. It's one of the first trailers for it. I don't think they even have a release date yet, but it just looks okay.
Yeah, I mean, it looks alright. It looks like a. It doesn't even look like an actual trailer. It looks like a proof of concept trailer.
Yeah. Oh, look, this is what we have. Basically, they make it to sell it to studios or what have you. So, yeah, well, Sly Cooper, everyone. I mean, out of all the video games, I thought it's still kind of weird that Sly was the one that was picked up, but I guess it's better than bringing back Kratos for a movie.
Actually, dude, like a hyper violent God of War movie.
Yeah, but you know that wouldn't sell. You're gonna
I know it would sell, but it would look cool.
Like in this day and age, if you wanted to keep it, and they wouldn't because it wouldn't sell, but if you wanted to keep it true to the story, it'd be an NC-17, and no movie theater would carry it.
My movie theater would carry it. My fictional.
Your official Bryan 1. So instead of like 12 lane or whatever, it's Bryan's 1 lane.
Yep. Hold on a second. I'm also updating our Twitter as we do this. Slenderman.
Um, I okay. There are two things that concern me about this, and believe it or not, it's not the movie, but the thing is based around this movie. Because
You can just watch Marble Hornets. Just watch Marble Hornets.
well, let me explain this one, because believe it or not, this is something I feel like I have to explain. Which I guess I do a lot in the show. Oh well. Slender Man was kind of like the common people movie monster, if you will, or written monster. And now that a studio has made a movie about it, I'm really worried they're gonna try and copyright Slender Man.
Right?
I'm like, you
Oh,
understand?
I didn't even think. Oh shit, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I brought that up to a friend of mine a couple of years ago before the podcast existed, obviously. But I was like, the problem with any form of like Slender Man movie is that we, the internet as a collective, have obviously not myself, but other people have made their own fiction, their own stories, their own art, all based around this monster that was created by communities. And now that a movie studio is making something behind it, they're gonna put up a copy. There's a chance they'll put up a copyright for Slender Man. So
Yeah. And you know what? I'm watching this trailer, and I'm like, what the fuck does this have to do with anything? Like, if it didn't have the title Slenderman, I would have no idea what it was fucking about.
no, it looks like an Insidious movie if you did not know like the title, because like you don't even see Slender Man. You see like a shaded like footage of him. Oh look,
Right?
there's a guy in the distance. There's a guy in the distance. Look.
Yeah, it was just like this looks. If you want a good Slenderman movie, go watch the documentary about the girls who stabbed their friend.
That actually happened though. Oh,
Yeah, I know that actually happened. That's why I say go watch it. It's on HBO.
it's creepy as shit, man.
Apparently those girls, one of them, I think they actually finished their court things with those.
Oh,
And let me double check real quick. I know the girls survived,
right.
but the court proceedings. So Morgan Geyser arranged for a plea deal. The psychiatric evaluation. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Anissa Weir pleaded guilty to second-degree homicide.
Wouldn't be second-degree attempted homicide because it was
So yeah,
successful?
attempted second-degree homicide.
Oh, okay.
The claim she was not responsible, insanity. The jury on September 15th, 2017 determined she was not guilty by mental disease or defect and was served a minimum of 3 years at a mental hospital. The second girl, Morgan Geyser, she pleaded guilty and was not found guilty by reason of mental disease or defect. Evaluation began in November to determine a thing. Anissa Weir on December 21st, so the first girl was sentenced up to 25 years in a state mental health institution. She'll serve a minimum of 3 or more years at the state hospital and remain under state supervision for the rest of her sentence.
Damn.
And it doesn't say about Morgan. But yeah, basically, they both are innocent for reason of insanity, but they are going to be locked away for a good amount of time in mental homes.
They're going to Arkham for the criminally insane?
Mm-hmm. Next thing you know, they're going to be
Damn it, we're a Joker henchman now.
they're gonna be all Joker. They're gonna look all like Batman villains that are Slenderman themed.
Oh god. Hey DC, just saying, there's an idea right there. We could write
go with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terrible idea. Oh.
All right. So I got another trailer here. The last of the remakes, adaptations, sequels, and blah 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 is the Godzilla one. There's another trailer that's been released for the Godzilla anime for Netflix, and holy shit, does it look cool!
I'm confused about this because how to put it?
Have you seen a Godzilla movie? They don't make sense.
Well, yeah, no, obviously, but in this case, it's like it's the biggest Godzilla yet. I'm like, talking about width because at one point Godzilla was towering over Tokyo Tower, and he would be bigger than Mount Fuji, and now he looks about the size of Mount Fuji now. I mean, he's definitely thicker than he used to be, that's for sure. But
Oh no, this one's actually I think there's an image of this Godzilla compared to the last one, size-wise. I'll find it real quick and share it up. But yeah, the monster planet Godzilla, over 300 meters tall, and the second biggest one, which was Shin Godzilla, the second tallest one was Shin Godzilla, followed by the 2014 Godzilla. Shin Godzilla is only 118 meters tall.
oh damn. This one
And
dwarfs it.
Legendary Films is 108 meters tall. So this one's like 2 to 3 sizes, like 3 times the size of the second largest. So it's a big one.
Damn, you could live off of that Godzilla, literally.
Yeah. It's not the best image, but it kind of shows it. And I'll go ahead and share it on there. It's just a simple image. You should be able to load it.
Oh shit.
And yeah. So this one's big.
Yeah, I would say so.
He's a big boy.
Yeah, Godzilla's all grown up. Or wait, maybe that's Godzilla Jr.
Oh. Well, it's in the future on a planet fully run by Godzillas and kaijus. I mean, I wouldn't put it past him.
What was the one? If I was part of that scrap of humanity left, that because this is like 2,000 years in the future. This movie, so 4018, I guess. What I'd be the one is let's say Kara's to that planet and just record people. It doubles both as a kaiju movie or show and a documentary. You've kind of doubled your audience with that. I'd be like, just go send recording drones.
Dude, I'd totally watch a Godzilla what's it called? A mockumentary? I'd totally watch a Godzilla mockumentary.
I'm just saying, like, if I was one of those humans, I'd send out like recording drones to record the shit that
But it could
happened
also be
there.
bad. It could also be bad. It could also end up being like Cloverfield.
Well, yeah, but I'm not talking like
And I
found
did,
footage. I'm talking
yeah.
drones.
Oh no,
Like,
like an actual full out. No, do it like Planet Earth. Do it legit like Planet Earth or like Life or one of those documentaries.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. We get like, you get there and you record it like you would situations like, oh look, that's the lion jumping on the gazelle or what have you, and it's like, but
As the mature Godzilla's, what is Godzilla's? So Godzilla has a scientific name. Give me 1 second.
oh yeah, I don't know. I think they just called him like alpha predator or something like that.
Uh, there we are. Oh, the Godzilla. As we see the wild Godzillasaurus defend its young, it uses its powerful atomic breath to lay wait to quickly subdue its prey.
See, that documentary right there. Plus, you can get all the cool shit of Godzilla is blowing up shit or killing other kaiju's. I was like, this is a documentary. Fuck, don't try and reestablish Earth. This is a gold mine right here. Just send robots to record shit. Because if they have space travel, you know they have robots that can just record this shit. And they're so
Yeah.
and they're so tiny. I doubt it would show up on Godzilla's radar. Well, they could be tiny, depending on how you set it up. Anyway,
All right, and final trailer on I got here is the only one that's completely original, and even then, it's a not completely original. The Winchester horror biopic.
I hate this. Actually, it's not even a biopic. It's meant to be a horror movie. I could tell.
So apparently my friends were at the Winchester Mystery House when they were filming this, and they weren't allowed to take any pictures because they were filming it.
This okay, hold on. I've only seen the trailer for this, and I'm already going. I'm already seeing glaring historical inaccuracies in this trailer.
Oh, you mean
Congratulations.
how she's not a crazy person?
Well, I mean, she was kind of a crazy person. She believed ghosts were trying to kill her, but no.
No, I mean like they made it in the movie look like she's not a crazy person, that ghosts are actually trying to kill her, when in reality she was a crazy
Yeah, she was
person.
a straight up crazy. Also, like, oh, I'm haunted by the ghost of the rifleman. It's like, no, she believed she was haunted by the people killed by the Winchester rifle. Fuck,
Yeah.
fuck you people and your storytelling. Because guess what? That story of what actually
But
motivated
don't
her.
you know if they were actually doing the ghosts of the people who were killed by the riflemen, Hollywood would have to cast a bunch of Native Americans.
Not well, and well, a lot of people, not just Native Americans, but yeah. And I was, I'm legitimately annoyed by this. It's like because you could make a horror movie based off of that story pretty easily. But it'd be like the what's it called, the happening, the haunting. Yeah, if you know what movie I'm talking about, it's more of a ambiance horror rather than a literal horror. There's not like a
The I
haunting.
could be any number. The Haunting, it could be any number of them. There were like a billion of them out there.
Paranormal Activity. There's a new one people know about. Paranormal.
Okay.
Yeah, the idea is that the spirits are attacking, or like poltergeist if you're old like I am. So you have multiple things that are doing this. It's not like they couldn't have made a movie about this and or just all in her fucking head. No, no, no. There had to be like one guy. I'm annoyed by the historical inaccuracy, and I'm just
It's been one guy who looks at you. Yeah, no, it's bad. It's bad. It doesn't look great.
I don't know. Like I've never been there, although it's one of the places I've always wanted to go to the actual house.
I've never been there either.
Like this.
I've been to San Jose a number of times, but I haven't been there.
For those of you listening, that while they exaggerated, that place is a real place. If you're ever in Southern California, give it a look. It's pretty interesting.
Northern California.
Yeah. Was
San
it?
Jose is Northern California.
That's right. That's right. Um,
You've been away from California too long.
it's been like almost 12 years now.
San Jose is near the Bay Area.
Gotcha.
So if you're near the Bay Area, go check it out.
What's funny is I've talked to people from Southern California, and they refer to the area that we're from as Northern California. I'm like, no, 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 no. It goes more north. We're
Well, so you have California. You have NorCal, SoCal, and then you have Super NorCal, and you have Super SoCal. So like we were Central Cal. We were the Valley. So to NorCal we were SoCal, and to SoCal we were NorCal. But we're like, no, we're Central. NorCal is Sacramento,
Reading.
the Bay Area. SoCal is Bakersfield is like the northernmost part, and LA, and then you got like the super SoCal, which is like
San Diego, Cholula.
San Diego, and then you got super NorCal, which is your Jefferson County. It's pretty much Oregon area.
Yeah. Actually, very beautiful there. I like it. I like that section.
Oh,
of
it's
the
gorgeous.
Yeah. But so this place, this building is an actual building you can go to. You could take tours and everything. It's really interesting because there's literally doors to nowhere or doors that just lead to the ground floor. So, because she
Or that open up outside or lead to another door or
into a brick wall. She slept in a room. The owner of the mansion slept in a different room every night, fearing that ghosts would kill her and all kinds of shit. So like you can actually go check this out. But it's just from the trailer, I'm like, really, you had to change the story of what could have made an already interesting horror movie anyway? Did you really have to change the story?
Oh, of course they did.
Come on, guys.
All right, let's move away from trailer talk. Let's get into some news before we talk about Star Wars. So that gives people a chance to listen to us and then back away if they don't want to get spoiled.
Get ready for.
All right, so the first. Go, say your joke.
I was just saying, get ready for Star Wars review, everyone.
All right, so the first thing I got here is I got some anime news. Amazon's unpopular anime strike service is dead.
Do you know what I think killed it? In all honesty,
Crunchyroll, Funimation, Netflix.
well,
The fact that Amazon Prime, or that it was another purchase on top of Amazon Prime Video, and nobody uses Amazon Prime Video. I have Amazon Prime Video, and I forget that I have it, and I have it because I pay for Amazon Prime.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The part I think it killed it to me, I know this killed it for me, is that you had to pay an additional service just to use it. So you didn't get normal. You couldn't just get normal Amazon Video. You had to get their anime straight on top of what you're already paying, which was bullshit.
Yeah, no, it's I didn't even know this was a thing.
Like to me, it was
Like I had heard, I had heard about it, but I didn't know it had come out, and now it's gone. And the only other news I have is, oh shit, that came out and it's gone already.
Yeah, I remember when it came out. It was like maybe like it was like 3 or 4 years ago, and it's already dead. It was like because you charged people after already charging them. How fucking that's so stupid. So,
Oh, by the way, I fucking love Tommy Wiseau's Twitter.
oh, that sounds like it'd be fun.
Yeah.
We should change the name into Wiseaucast.
We're the Wiseaucast now. Oh no, we'll get sued by him. He likes to sue people who use his stuff, so.
The Tomcast?
I mean, if I were to get sued by Tommy Wiseau, though, that'd be interesting.
What if we just be like, haha, this is a ploy to get your attention?
Look at us! Look at us!
But no, it's dead and it deserves to die because it was a stupid concept. And I'm saying not because they have, I mean, we already have like a bunch of anime streaming. It's just because they charged on top of an already subscribed service, so it was a dumb concept.
Yeah, to the surprise of no one, it's dead. I mean, maybe like I don't even think the Amazon people were surprised by it. Next thing on the anime and then the Chinese cartoon news, they're doing a Junji Ito collection.
Ooh,
On Netflix. Is it Netflix? No, Crunchyroll. Do you know who Junji Ito is?
well, I mean, I do, Brian, but for the listeners who may not know.
Oh, of course. So have you seen that horror like manga with all the spirals and people turning into snails and shit?
Yeah.
He's the guy who did that.
Oh.
Basically, almost any time you think of like horror manga, it's that dude. Where it's like the super body horror too.
Oh boy.
And they're doing a animated adaptation on Crunchyroll for his stuff.
A part of me is happy that Crunchyroll is doing original programming. The other part of me is also disturbed at Japanese horror, because as much as I'm used to American horror, they have Japanese horror has a weird level of creeping me out, unlike any other.
Oh yeah, no, and like if you think of like the creepy like manga stuff, 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be Junji Ito.
So look out for that, everyone.
I'm
Yeah.
excited.
Watch it on Crunchyroll. We're not sponsored by them, but that's where you can find it.
We need to get some sponsors in this house, like actual sponsors.
What? We're still on occasion sponsored by Dewey, Burnham, and Howe.
Oh, also, and a couple other ones too. We're gonna get a cease and desist from the real Dewey Burnham and Howe. We're gonna get an email and we're like, the fuck?
This is a real law firm?
Huh. All right.
Just for
Okay.
yeah. This is gonna be really interesting. I need to Google this later. Let's see if there's like an actual Dewey, Burnham, and Howe.
All right, let's move on. Give me a second. I mean, I would love some of that sweet, sweet Crunchyroll money, or that sweet, sweet Blue Apron money, or that sweet, sweet Casper money, or even just a Casper mattress. I don't need money from them. Just give me a mattress.
Hey guys, you can sponsor episodes just by giving us stuff too. We don't have to give us money. You can just give us stuff.
Yeah.
Like here's a year with a Blue Apron deal.
Shit, man, that'd be nice. All right, so next we got some movie news. One of them I found kind of cool. We saw Star Wars, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like the porgs. I thought, like, what the fuck are these doing here? These seem useless. Yeah. And then I found something out about them.
Well, what is that?
They are puffins. There were so many puffins on the endangered puffins on the island they were filming on, and they couldn't like get rid of them.
Right.
And just because there were so many of them, it would have taken much longer to digitally remove them. So they just turned them into Star Wars animals.
Yeah, I heard about that because that actual filming location is like Ireland or something like that, and off really beautiful looking island. And they just like, well, fuck it, we'll just cover them up with cute animals that have no.
Because it's easier to replace replace them than it is to erase them.
On the bright side, at least we don't have to take them seriously as some form of combatant like we did the Ewoks.
Right? And it makes more sense why they're there. I'm like, all right, you know what? That's actually a clever way to deal with the problem of filming. Good job, people.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good way, a good workaround, you know, as opposed to like whenever they tried, the guy who played Superman in Justice League had to digitally remove his mustache.
Right.
Which is ridiculous, but you know,
I still haven't seen that.
Neither have I. I probably should at one point, I guess. Sure, why
yeah,
not?
I probably should.
So yeah, so there are puffins, everyone. Check that shit
and
out.
puffins are adorable.
Tiny little birds.
So next one on there is in the upcoming Spawn reboot. Todd McFarlane's upcoming movie about Spawn will not speak. Apparently, Spawn is not going to be talking in the new Spawn movie. Does not say a word in the entire movie.
This annoys me. I know what Todd is going
for. Says Todd McFarlane. Yeah. Not to be confused with Seth MacFarlane.
I know what Todd is going
for. I do want to see... Though I do want to... Now that I think about it, I do want to see Seth MacFarlane's Spawn and Todd McFarlane's Family Guy.
Okay, so the Todd McFarlane's Family Guy would just be like edgy as shit, and then Seth MacFarlane's Spawn would just be a bunch of dick jokes. Actually, you know what? I'd pay to see that. Seth MacFarlane, you should make a Spawn comic. But no, like, I believe it or not, that annoys me. And do you want to know why?
Why does that annoy you?
Because Spawn is actually interesting. Stop trying to make this into a horror movie.
But he needs to be like Jaws.
He was, goddammit, he is Lord of the Bums. That's not even a joke. At one point, he was considered King of the Bums of New York.
But just like, revel in the 90s edginess and just go with it.
Then why don't I just watch that live action movie they did back in the 90s?
Oh god, that movie was terrible. Have you watched that movie recently?
Yes. It is
terrible.
It
is so bad.
It does not hold up, like, at all. Although I did like John Leguizamo's version of Violator. Nonetheless...
Oh, I'll talk about that later. I'll talk about that later. I'll talk about that later. Okay. Yeah, no, but like that movie was. Oh, and I don't know. I don't like silenced Spawn. Maybe it's just making it easier to get an actor, whoever the fuck they want. I don't know.
They'll probably just end up getting the guy who did Darth Maul. He also did Snake Eyes. He's only known for it. Like, he does not do dialogue often because he's not like an
He
actor.
was Toad in X-Men.
Yeah, he's not an actor. He is a stunt guy who looks decent enough, like physically speaking, to be on camera. So
Yeah.
they'll put him like, oh look, he's Snake Eyes, or he's Toad, or he's Darth Maul. So his fight scenes are fucking great, but he cannot actually act. Though to be fair,
Yeah.
and correct me if I'm wrong, I think he was Jango Fett in
No,
episode 2.
no. That's
No?
Tamara Morrison. You're
Okay.
you're talking about Ray Park.
Okay.
Also, I would be more surprised. I'd be less surprised if you confused Tamara Morrison with oh, give me a second. Um, who plays Andy Serkis? Like, if you got Tamara Morrison and Andy Serkis confused, because they both do a bunch of shit in New Zealand, except Andy Serkis is from England.
No. I don't know.
Andy Serkis is also one of those guys who does a ton of CGI stuff.
Yeah.
He's Gollum, and he's the monkey, and he's
Oh
a
yeah.
bunch of other stuff.
I know what you're talking about. I don't look. I'm annoyed by this because I get what Todd's going for. It doesn't stop me from being any more annoyed. It's like, you understand that. I don't really like anti-heroes, but Spawn is one of the few anti-heroes I actually did like.
I prefer anti-villains. I like a good anti-villain.
I mean, I like a good anti-villain too. But if if you had to choose your subject, you have your straight-up hero, your anti-hero, your anti-villain, your villain. I like to have like a good, which one of these in this category do I like? So for me, the only anti-hero I really liked was Spawn. Because well, it's because he had a tragic background. He was fighting like a combination of his internal angers and hell and heaven itself. It was.
You know what we need? We need a Youngbloods movie.
God, you brought that up last time. Fuck the Youngbloods.
It is like the perfect '90s thing. Like, it is the '90s thing.
It is the '90s thing. It doesn't stop me from hating it.
Oh, of course, hate it away. So let's move on from there. We'll get on to TV shows. We're gonna stay on the comic book route though. Gifted, which I have not watched,
Me neither.
is getting a season 2.
So yeah, that's good. Apparently, it's done well enough on TV for it to receive a sequel. Well, second season, excuse me. So that's good to hear. It's nice to see that comic books are going back on TV again, I guess.
Some shows, comic book things need to be TV. Like I talked
Mm-hmm.
about my idea for Fantastic Four as a TV show.
Yeah. Some shows you can do it. I haven't watched Gifted, so maybe it works, maybe it doesn't work. I mean, I probably it's doing well enough for another season, obviously, but
Is it good? Like, I haven't watched it.
probably should. I'm to add some credibility, I guess. But I have so much on my plate right now. I'm behind on so many shows.
Ooh, the Stepford Cuckoo. Ooh, it has the Stepford Cuckoos. I like the Stepford Cuckoos.
Nice.
Cuckoos. And I like the Stepford Cuckoos. But yeah. Next thing on there is remember how a couple weeks ago we talked about the Sabrina spinoff of Riverdale?
Yeah.
They finally cast Sabrina.
It's believable the way she looks because they show a picture of her. I mean, she makes me a little too old to be teenage in my opinion, but other than that, she's pretty.
Who
believable.
isn't? It's of course she looks too old. It's a fucking CW show.
Fair enough. But at least the guy who plays Barry Allen looks like he's in his 20s. I mean, the girl who's playing Sabrina looks like she's in her 20s, but the series is Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Well, she meets my requirements. She is a cutie.
And she's blonde. That is a requirement. I mean, I'm sticking by that. That's one of her character traits.
And hopefully she's not as like I know everyone loves the Melissa Joan Hart Sabrina, but have you seen? Do you know what Melissa Joan Hart's doing now?
Christian movies for Hallmark, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She was the star of God's Not Dead 2.
I can't believe they're making a third movie of that.
Right? I don't right?
So let's move on from that. Before I get outraged here. So the actress, go ahead and name off the actress. But
Her name is Kieran Shipka.
and so yeah, we got our Sabrina actress. Do they release any like information for release date, or is it just we know who our actress is?
Don't see anything about a release date as of yet. Holy shit, she is young. Do you know how fucking old she is?
What's
I
that?
feel kind of gross now. She was born November 10th, 1999.
Okay, no, she guess she just looks older than she
She's
is. Yeah, she's 18.
she's barely 18.
Yeah,
I feel a little skeevy. I'm 10 years older than her.
yeah.
Um,
I'm 8 years older than her. This is Oh, we're comfortable, Brad.
yeah, I am too. Supposed to come in on the 2018-2019 broadcast season, and it's supposed to get a it sounds like it's getting a backyard pilot on the Riverdale show.
Oh, gotcha. Well, they kind of
A backdoor pilot, yeah.
they introduced the
Yeah.
character through the show and then bring her on on her own, so they could just kind of skip origin for the most part.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Does
What
that,
is she doing?
does that mean Riverdale's gonna have supernatural aspects to it? I feel weird about this.
I don't know. That's what it sounds like, but it also might be a thing of they might not do it. Oh shit! I didn't realize that.
What?
Apparently, she was the voice of. Did you watch Korra?
Cora? Yeah.
I want to give me 1 second to double check the character. She the older sister or the younger sister? She was the voice of Janora and Korra, and I can't remember if that's the older. Yeah, Tenzin's kids.
Yeah.
She was the voice of the oldest sister.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So, like, yeah, that's what she's from. She was she was an unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt as Kimmy with a Y. I don't know Kimmy with the Y was. I love that show. That show is fun. But who was Kimmy with a Y? Oh, Kimmy's half sister. She was Kimmy's half sister and then Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. So she's been in a couple decent things. She was but yeah, apparently one of her bigger roles was Janora in The Legend of Korra, and she's apparently barely 18.
This episode got a bit comfortable.
Yeah. Let's move on from there.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's another one on our apparently Showtime it still swears that a Halo TV show is still happening.
Can we just not? I mean this. Can we really just not? I might not just not that interested in the Halo's background to really get.
I'm not. If you want background, read the fucking books. The books are actually really well written, or the comics, or play the games. At this point, does anybody really care?
Like yeah, like the Halo show would have been a good idea back during like the Halo 2, Halo 3 era, you know, mid to like
Yeah.
2000s. Now,
Like, I don't know anybody who actually played Halo 5.
I mean, I did, but there's no.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, I know. To be fair, I know a lot of people, but
Oh, I thought you played it.
no, God, no.
That's why I apologize. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm good. No, I stopped playing after Reach because I was like, oh, it's the same shit. They just make it look nicer. Got it.
Yep.
I don't see the appeal anymore.
Like, I don't even. It's not even with Bungie anymore. It's
343.
Studio 343.
Yeah. They currently own the rights to the game series. I think Bungie still owns overall rights. I think I could be wrong about that, but it's 343 is the one who spearheads the games. There's a good chance I'm wrong about that last statement, but they run the games currently. They're the ones making all the games and everything for it. I don't. This is not the time for a Halo series, guys, unless you just not to use Master Chief.
Like, there's other characters. There's a bunch of other characters in that you can use.
Well, okay, I just want to say for reference, if you're gonna do a Halo series, don't use Master Chief, and the main reason for that, believe it or not, is because Master Chief is a boring person. He was literally.
He's supposed to be boring because you're supposed to be able to put yourself in his feet.
Yeah, it's the Gordon Freeman effect. You're supposed. He's quiet.
It's the same reason. Keep going.
I was saying, the idea is you're supposed to put yourself in his shoes, but it's like, well, guess what? We've had 5 games, 1 animated movie, series of books and comics. Gordon, while has an interesting background, is a boring person. He's not. If you're going to base off of any Spartan, there are many Spartans to go off of. Don't. Not Gordon. Call him Gordon.
But yeah,
His name is John.
Gordon Freeman.
Yeah, I know. I was talking about John. Master Chief, if you will.
Yeah, John 117.
Yeah.
But it's a thing books and shows and movies do is they make an audience insert character who is boring as fuck or is a silent protagonist, which is why your character in like Pokemon doesn't talk or Link doesn't talk and stuff like that. It's because you're supposed to be filling in yourself. I have a theory that Link and stuff is accurate. Link and your like character in those games are actually talking, but you don't hear it because it's you.
So you broke up. What was that?
The thing is that like, where did I leave off with?
You had a theory that everyone is talking, and then you broke up and said, "Then you."
Oh, because they're you. So like Link is actually talking because you get responses like you're playing Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask or Twilight Princess.
Right.
Even though you didn't say anything, your Link didn't say anything. You're getting responses from characters as if he did.
Okay.
And same thing in like the Pokemon games. You're not actually saying anything. Your character doesn't actually say anything, but you're getting responses like you said something.
All right. And it works. It makes more sense than just somebody who just stares at people awkwardly all the time. Why aren't you saying anything?
I mean, I do want to see a game now where you're actually a silent protagonist. People freak out about it.
Oh, yeah. Then you need to play Stick of Truth. They make jokes about that, about the silent protagonist.
Stick of Truth? I have played Stick of Truth, and yeah, they did make jokes about that. I need to play the sequel still. I still need to play Fractured Asshole.
Fractured Butthole, yeah.
That's what I meant. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying, like, if you're... Okay, you might get me on board for a Halo movie if you don't do Master Chief. That's what I'm saying. Maybe do, like, ODST, because I felt like that was a wasted
Oh, yeah, I fucking love the Helldivers.
Yeah.
They're, like, my favorite part of the Halo stuff.
But they have a lot to work with. Just stay away from the Spartan program, I guess. That's what my suggestion here would be.
Yeah. That's a good suggestion.
Yeah, and I'm sure those patent movie studios are listening to 2 podcasters somewhere on the internet right now.
Guys, we gotta... I just listened to this podcast that we shouldn't put the Master Chief in there.
Shut up, Tim.
And then he dabs out of the room.
Yeah, he's got like a fidget spinner in one hand and dabs out of the room.
Dab. Oh, yeah, we'll talk about that in a moment. All right. Also, so going from a bit disappointing news to some actual fun news. I'm excited for this. Are you excited for this? New Zealand's 4th most popular folk comedy duo returns. That's right. Brett McKenzie and Jermaine Clement of Flight of the Conchords are coming back for an hour-long special.
I cannot express how happy I am about this. Believe it or not.
Fucking love Flight of the Conchords.
Exactly.
Oh my god. I am so excited, Bike. I'm not even excited. I'm Excite Bike.
That's how excited he is, everyone. He's so excited he's not excited, but he's Excite Bike.
fucking hip hopopotamus and rhinoceros, and I'll be the racist dragon.
I am the hip hopopotamus. My rhymes are bottomless.
Oh, I wasn't prepared for that.
Yeah, it's really great. For anybody who don't know about them, go check them out. They're pretty funny. If you've seen, was it? I'm gonna screw up the name, but Moana.
I'm the mother flipping rhinoceros. My beats are fat and the birds on my beats are fat and the birds on my back, and I'm horny. If you choose to proceed, you will indeed concede, because I will hit you with my flow, the wild rhino stampede. There you go.
There you go. They had an HBO show for a while. I don't think it's around anymore.
Oh, it's still, if you have HBO Go, you can watch it.
Yeah.
If you have HBO Go or HBO Now, it's available to watch. Also, like, all their songs are like available on YouTube. Like, go fucking look up Fly the Conchords. They're hilarious.
Yeah, no, seriously, guys, go check them out. They're funny. I've been a fan of their music for a couple years now. I was legitimately excited. Excuse me, not excited. Then when I found out they had an HBO show, I was like, this could be really interesting, especially since they as I thought they would do was be like, oh yeah, they're two guys in New Zealand doing this, but no, they're two guys trying to make it big in like New York, I think is the city.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Go check it out. It's pretty good. I like their music too.
What are the last things they've done? Jermaine was in
Moana was.
He was in Moana. He was the crab.
Yeah.
He was that giant crab, and he actually sung that song.
What's interesting to me is that song was actually tailor-made for Jermaine's singing style, believe it or not.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, and then Brett.
Go ahead.
Keep talking. No, I'm looking up stuff.
I was saying, it was it's awesome to see them coming back.
Oh, I fucking love it. He was apparently and then Brett McKenzie was apparently in Lord of the Rings.
Wait,
and The Hobbit.
Wait, what? Really?
Yeah, he was Figwit in Lord of the Rings, and then he was he was an elf in The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings.
Someone made Brett an elf.
Yeah. Well, he's like one of two New Zealander. He's like, there's only like 5 New Zealand actors, and you got to get as many as you can when you film in New Zealand.
I mean, fair. But still, I was like, come on, get an elf? I could believe Brett as a hobbit. Not saying anything against his physical stature. It's just his demeanor fits it. But an elf seems a bit far fetched.
Well, he was an elf in the original Hobbit movie. Okay. Not Hobbit, Lord of the Rings. Okay. He was an elf in the Lord of the Rings movie too.
Hear me out here. They need to do a Lord of the Rings song, right? Where Brett is a hobbit and Jermaine is a dwarf. And Jermaine is a dwarf. Yeah, you see where I go with this.
I am going. I do see where you're going.
That would be awesome. Just saying.
And then let's go on to video game news. Oh shit, there's another thing on there that I wanted to bring up, but I don't remember what it was. Shit, my mind skipped. Whatever. Mad Catz is returning.
Yeah.
Get those controllers with those cheap controllers with turbo buttons.
Hey man, say what you will, but back in the day when those controllers were obnoxiously expensive, as opposed to now, which is they're more expensive, those things used to be awesome.
All right, that's fair. But it was always the controller you didn't want to end up with. Except for some, I had one friend who always wanted the Mad Catz controller because it was smaller. But I'm like, no, I'd rather just have the normal controller.
How to put it? The only time I ever used the Mad Catz controller was for the GameCube because I always felt like the GameCube's base controller was a little too thick. So like,
I liked it.
It's like the thin because I got the mini controller somewhere in my house anyway. I used to use the mini controller because it was just small enough for me to use it just fine, as opposed to the base one, which was like thick. I mean, it was not Xbox, like original Xbox thick, but still.
Oh, I knew people who liked the original Xbox one. I like the second Xbox controller personally.
360. If I had to pick a controller,
360's not bad.
That's
honestly, if I'm gonna pick if you know what, you're gonna pick a 360 if you pick a controller.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go with the DualShock.
You know, the main reason why I don't go with PlayStation, their base controllers were always too, like, PS4 is a bit better, but their last set of controllers were always too small for me in, like, comfort level.
Oh, I find them I find them to be a good balance of comfortability and practicality.
And I'll say it's weird, though, that they have not changed their controller since the, like, mid-PlayStation 1 era.
Don't fix what ain't broke.
Well, other than the annoying light bar on the PS4 and the shitty battery life that comes with it.
Yeah. And so they're let's keep going. Let's keep moving on here. They're publishing some sort of Dragon Age book. I don't know. I've never played Dragon Age. Like I've played like maybe like an hour of Dragon Age.
Well, it's a good series. One of the most memorable characters from the second and
I've been meaning to play it. I just couldn't get to. I didn't like the combat.
Yeah, no, you literally, if you play the game, you're playing for its branching storylines. You're not playing it for the gameplay.
But I couldn't go any further because of the fucking combat.
Trust me, like you can. It's just you gotta have to like dig through it. It's kind of playing the first Mass Effect game, which I know you didn't play, but you have to dig through their shitty combat to get through some pretty good storyline, and then it just kind of gets better over time with different games. Like BioWare has a history of doing that. Like the first game has some shitty combat, and then they improve upon it in later games. That's basically what the Dragon Age series is like. I hated the combat in the first, but the third game, which is Dragon Age Inquisitions, had far better combat than the first one.
All right, but yeah, apparently they're publishing Varric's book is being published for real.
Yeah, I'm wondering which one though, because he's an author in the series, and his most favorite one was called Hard in Hightown, which to me sounds like a porn. That aside.
Oh, his novel Hard in Hightown is getting published.
Oh, well, there you go then.
July, compliments of Dark House Books with Penguin Random House distributing at $20, under 100 pages. It'll be illustrated. Here's the publisher's description. 20 years of patrol have chiseled each and every stone of Kirkwall streets into city guardman Donnan Brenovic. Weary and weathered, Donnan is paired with a recruit so green he might as well have leaves growing out of his armor. When the mismatched pair discovers a dead magistrate down on the flagstones, they're caught up in a clash between a shadowy organization as the Executors and a secretive group of Chantry agents all over some ancient artifact.
Think of Varric kind of like Dragon Age's version of a D&D bard, but with a crossbow.
Speaking of D&D, let's go on to the last bit of news I got. They are D&D players mod hundreds of monsters into playable characters, or you could just play 3.5 and pick up Savage Species, or 3.0 and pick up Savage Species. I literally saw this article and I'm like, wait, that's just Savage Species.
Yeah. Yeah. On the bright side, you could play a Beholder now, I guess.
But you could do that and say, pick up Lords of Menace.
Yeah. Well, I would say though that I give props to this guy for how long this would have taken, because there's many, many, many monsters throughout the D&D history. And also, I thought I didn't have a life, but apparently this guy has less of a life.
I guess it's for the more recent ones. It's for 5th edition, but I play 3 and 3.5 because they're pretty much the same thing. There's minor differences between them. And like I'm like, wait, we could already do that. I was already capable of this. You just knew how to figure out which source book to pick up.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, I applaud the guy's dedication, but this was like, well, it's kind of already been done. I mean, on the bright side, I guess I could play a Rust Beetle. So, a sentient Rust Beetle, does that need to be a thing? That sounds like it does not need to be a thing.
It could be a thing. Let's totally make it a thing.
Gonna make it Rust Beetle. Gonna make a offshoot camp show from this one where we play D&D as D&D monsters as opposed to the heroes.
Yeah, I mean the monster games are fun. I played one where I was a gnoll. I was a gnoll druid. It was cool. I had a bunch of dreads and I ate people.
Nice.
All right, I think that's it for the news. There's something else that I wanted to say, but I don't remember what it is. It'll come up to me later afterwards. But whatever, I don't care. Oh yeah, speaking of fucking New Year's, of course I did the thing that I always do on New Year's, And we also binge watched the Twilight Zone, and as you're supposed to. I remember one year Sci-Fi put on Battlestar Galactica instead of Twilight Zone, and I was so fucking pissed off because that's my fucking Twilight Zone time.
The fallacy of it. It's like if
I don't fucking.
It's like if AMC didn't show Three Stooges on New Year's Day. The fallacy of it.
Like, you don't fucking put, like, and, like, you don't put a fucking show that you have to watch in order on. The Twilight Zone works for New Year's because you can just leave it on and come and go and watch it. But we're sitting there watching it, and the guy's like, I'm 36. And we're looking at him going like, dude, you look like you're 50.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this 25-year-old woman. She's 25? Ooh. Oh.
Life's been
Or
hard
like,
for you.
there was one where it's like, I stayed at this bus stop until 3 a.m. A woman by herself stayed at a bus stop at 3 a.m.
To be fair, it was the 60s.
It was the 60s, but being a modern 2018 person, I'm looking at this going like, oh man, those times were different.
Yeah. Nowadays it'd be like red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag. Oh boy.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like the ones where like people are saying their ages, and I'm like, are you? And then I look it up, and they're actually younger than that age, and I'm like, oh god, the 60s weren't good to you.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Oh.
I'd hate to figure out what I would look like. Hey, I might actually look my current age if I was if we had lived in the 60s.
Right?
I'm gonna be 27 next month, and I would imagine if I lived in the 60s, I might actually look my current age.
I'll be 29 in March. It'll be my last year of being under 30.
So maybe you'll get 30 under 30 media luminary?
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
All right.
For all those Forbes listeners
I don't
we
know.
have. You know, because we have, well, so many of our listeners are working for Forbes magazine.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Right? That makes perfect sense.
Yeah. You know, Forbes, Time people, they're all regular listeners to the show. That's exactly what that is about.
Yep. We are listening. All 5 of our people who listen to us are from Forbes.
That's right. So the rest of you just kind of scooch over for the Forbes people. Just move over to the bit. If you can move to the left, just a little to the left there. There you go. Great. Thanks. In this purely audio format, we appreciate the visual.
All right. So, shall we get into spoiler cast?
Spoiler alerts. For the next few minutes, we're going to be talking about Star Wars. Also, it's been nearly a month since it's come out. If you haven't seen it by now, it's on you. Moving on.
So, what did you think?
It works when it does, and then sometimes it doesn't work. I have mixed feelings about this, actually, believe it or not.
I loved it, and the more I think about it, I actually liked it better than... At first, when I first watched it, I think I preferred Force Awakens, but as I had time to think about it, I think I prefer this one over Force Awakens. The reason I liked Force Awakens first was I had this constant nagging in the back of my head about Carrie Fisher, but I'm not going to let that affect this movie because it was great on this movie, but it might affect the next movie.
Yeah, well, she's not with us anymore, so...
Yeah, exactly, and she survives the movie, and it's like, oh, they were planning on having her in the next movie.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
The part that annoys me... okay, there's a couple things that annoy me, but one of the things that annoy me, as I constantly run into other people who watched or just, like, glance at the movie, were complaining how Carrie Fisher's character, Leia, could use the Force.
Okay, I will get to that one. I want to talk about that one, but let's just talk about this. Let's wait on that one for a second.
Okay.
All right. A lot of the people I've seen complaining about this movie, I made a realization the other day.
What's that?
That they actually had their, they were looking, their expectations were too high. And it's like, it's a fucking Star Wars movie. What were you expecting? They're like, oh, it wasn't a masterpiece like I thought it was going to be. I was disappointed. And it's like, really? This was exactly what I thought I was going to get.
I'm gonna admit though, I was expecting a bit better, and it's hard to explain because there's still a lot of loose ends.
There are, but it's also a middle movie in a trilogy. Of course, there's gonna be loose ends.
I just want to point out though, I don't like comparing one movie trilogy to another movie trilogy, even if it's in the same universe. But by the end of episode 5, a lot of questions had been answered, and so
No, there were still more questions. Like, what the fuck are we gonna do? What happened to Han?
yeah.
Is Luke gonna be okay? What are we gonna do with this information? There were still a lot of questions.
Yeah, but a lot of the mysteries that had aired in the first movie have been answered in the second movie. Now, in Force Awakens, we had a lot of questions, and most of them were not answered by this second movie.
That's fine. There'll be more questions, and it being Star Wars, we'll get more and more. But like, so there's a couple little things that I've heard people nitpick at that I want to answer.
Yeah,
Because I feel this is a good spot to answer. Also, guys, if you hate this movie, you hate Force Awakens, you hate the prequels, and all you do is talk shit on Star Wars, and like, do yourself a favor, go back and watch the original trilogy. They are not as good as you think they are. I love those movies.
Yeah, same
but they
here.
aren't masterpieces like you think they are.
They had a lot more plot holes to them than people realize. A lot of inconsistencies.
Even Empire is full of plot holes and stuff.
Because remember, like, no, I think people purposely choose to forget this. In the first 2 movies, Leia kisses Luke, not like as a brother, but straight up like a like a lover.
It's okay not to be a fan. Like, if you go back and watch the original ones, you're like, oh shit, actually turns out I don't like this. Yeah. It's okay to not be a fan. And sometimes the not being a fan, your complaints are a little bit more founded than somebody who is a fan, because you're not your point of view isn't clouded.
Yeah, your judgment's not clouded by your preconceived notion of what it should be.
Yeah, and that's a lot of the problems. Like, this isn't what I thought it should be. It's like, well, you're watching obviously a different movie than I am. But okay, so a couple things that I want to talk about that I've heard people complain about. All right, first off is, as you said, Leia using the Force. Bitch, fucking Leia's been using Leia was Force sensitive in the original.
Let me break this down, because I've been wanting to do this on this podcast.
All right, do it. I will add some stuff in there, but I'll let you have this one. I want the next one though.
The part that annoyed me is that I got commonly from a lot of people is like, why is Leia using the Force? And the part that annoyed me is that, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but this is roughly 40 years after the events of Episode 6. You telling me in 40 years, the daughter of Anakin Skywalker didn't learn jack shit about the Force?
All they said is she decided to do her political military career instead of becoming a Jedi. It doesn't say that Luke didn't be like, hey, here's how to do some Force moves.
Yeah. The only part that I thought was bullshit was the part where she literally should have died in space. Leaving that alone.
I have a theory about that. I have a theory that the space in Star Wars isn't a complete vacuum.
Yeah, no.
It would explain the sounds. It would explain the explosions. It would explain them. Shows okay, yeah, she should have suffocated or whatever. That's nowhere near the point. Yeah. The other part I have problems with that. People are like, oh, she put okay. First of all, it was acknowledged she was Force sensitive in the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Of course, she fucking learned how to use Force powers. And it's probably super fucking easy to pull yourself towards a large object. She's not pulling the large object to her.
Yeah.
She's pulling herself like, all right, people, here, I want you to do something. It's like this is to the audience in general. Yeah. Audience in general. Get into a body of water with a large boat. All right? Tie a rope to that boat and have the rope on yourself. Now, what's easier, pulling yourself towards the boat or pulling the boat towards you?
Exactly. And people are like, why was she able to do this? It's like, guys, she is Anakin Skywalker, literally the most dreaded Sith in the Star Wars universe. That's his daughter. You tell me
the most powerful Force user up until Ben Solo.
Yeah, you tell me she didn't learn anything through all these years. She's like, I could learn the Force, but fuck it, I'm good. I'll just be a politician.
She probably did learn how to use the Force. She probably learned how to use it a little bit.
Yeah. I don't imagine she went crazy. She obviously didn't become a Jedi like her brother did. But...
And then I've seen other ones who are like, well, why didn't she use her Force powers later to lift those rocks? Because lifting rocks like that, it actually takes more force than pulling yourself towards an object like that.
And what people also don't seem to remember is she just got out of recovery.
Yeah. And it's one of those things of she was recovering. It actually takes more effort to move those small objects like that than it is to just kind of pull yourself towards something big.
Let me just give an example here. in a previous scene, as she's here, she gets blown out into space, you know, and has to pull herself back into the ship. So she was nearly frozen. She nearly died if she hadn't pulled herself out. She was on recovery for like a good chunk of the movie. Rey, who arrived at the end scene, was basically unharmed. So
Yeah.
who between the two of them do you think would be more likely to be able to lift the rocks? The recovering, you know, basically a politician, or the person who in the last 3 days spent time learning to be a Jedi?
Yeah. Oh, here's something you may not have noticed. When Luke shows up on that planet, he leaves no footprints. And he makes no noise as he steps.
You know, you were right. I did not notice that. That is a good point.
And like, remember, they're like, oh, like when people walk on the sand, on the salt, it leaves red. And Luke, when he's fighting Kylo, doesn't leave any footprints.
The part I thought was funny to me is that he did the anime shake off. Whenever
Yeah, that was great.
They got like the gorilla AT-ATs like shooting at him, just pulvering the spot, and he just kind of like sweeps his shoulder. I was like, yeah, Luke.
Oh, and even though he's dead now, which he was like, I felt Luke played a really good like Yoda / Obi-Wan role in this. But so Luke is going to be a fucking like terror to the First Order from now on. The First Order didn't know he was a ghost. The First Order just saw him take like a bunch of AT-ATs shooting at him.
Yeah.
And brush it off. And then watch him fight Kylo Ren like it was nothing.
It was fucking awesome. It
Luke
really
Skywalker,
was.
they're going to talk about Luke Skywalker like he's a fucking ghost.
No, and like it's going to terrify them, you know, from their core. What I thought was really awesome is he was projecting himself from planetary systems away, several planetary systems away. And like I have a tradition with my dad every year that whenever a new Star Wars or Star Trek movie comes out, because we're both sci-fi fans, or in this case, you know, Star Wars is science, fantasy, whatever. We go to watch it. And my dad is, why did Luke disappear? I'm like, well, he joined the Force. They actually talk about it.
It happened with Yoda and it happened with Obi-Wan.
Yeah. He literally, you give up your physical form to join the Force. It's happened twice. It's nothing new. I've had some people bicker about this. Like, you understand, they've done it before. You did not question those. Why are you questioning this? I mean, come on now. The only thing I had to say that I did have some complaints. One was like handing Leia the gold dice was pointless because...
Oh, yeah. Why did he still have... Like, was he projecting the dice the whole time?
He was projecting the dice that weren't real, which was weird.
So another cool thing is I fucking love the... three more things I want to talk about with this. One, that hyperdrive kamikaze was super fucking cool.
Yeah, definitely. I thought, like, that... In one scene when the vice admiral like reversed the ship, and then it was fantastic. I love that.
Everyone
scene.
in my theater went quiet.
Oh yeah, because look, did you saw the site? It was freaking beautiful.
It was so cool. The other one is there was that people are complaining about that the casino scene went nowhere, but I kind of like that it went nowhere because sometimes shit goes nowhere.
Yeah.
Sometimes you end up going on a side quest for nothing.
There's a couple things though that there's some of that stuff that annoy me. And this one I have to say, like I just want to get to the point where I want to address some of people's nitpicking stuff, but one of which was this like side romance that appeared kind of out of nowhere between Rose and Finn.
Oh, I ran into people who were comparing Rose to Jar Jar Binks.
No. Rose was actually enjoyable.
Rose was enjoyable. Like, who the fuck are you? Like, oh, she was annoying. I hated her. She was worse than Jar Jar. I'm like, did you watch the same movie I watched?
Yeah.
Like, she didn't really do much, but she wasn't annoying.
She was relevant enough to the plot where it made sense for her to be there. And she was not nearly as annoying as Jar Jar. Jar Jar was the incompetent fool. Such incompetent that his own race kicked him out. Rose was just kind of like, I'm the engineer. I'm plot relevant somehow. But it was this like love triangle that developed towards the end of the movie that annoyed the shit out of me. I'm like, really? Do we really need this love triangle here? Because you can see.
Are you talking about the love triangle between Poe, Finn, and Rose?
I mean, no, but that'd be interesting.
Finn and Poe, I totally ship it.
I know people were saying like, oh, we want that to happen. I'm like, nah, not Finn. I don't see.
Or are you talking about the one with
Rey, Rose, and Finn? Because obviously Finn has a thing for Rey. At the end of the movie, Rey is starting to realize she may have something for Finn.
But then you get the people who want to ship Rey and Ben Solo.
No, fuck that.
Which is weird and gross.
No, fuck that. And then I'm just annoyed at the love triangle. The other things I wanted to get around people's nitpicking that annoy me, one of which was that super awesome, powerful, weather-defying Yoda destroyed the first tree of the Jedi. I'm like, you understand that was symbolism, right? It was like
symbolism.
Forget the old movies. That's basically what it's saying. Is like the old movies were great. You can learn from them, but we're trying to move on. That was symbolism.
I love how that Yoda looked like a puppet.
Yes, that was the other thing. It's like you could tell a bit of CG was there, but it was Yoda puppet, not CG puppet.
Yeah, it was Yoda puppet. Oh, I have one more talk that I want to talk about that I've heard people nitpick, and it was the whole chase scene that goes through the movie of like, well, why didn't the Empire just speed up a little faster? Or why didn't the Rebels just go much faster? And it's like, well, here's the thing. The Rebels, they if you pay attention, they do the whole they explain the whole thing, and if you know, like, if you do add your map, it works.
Yeah.
So, all right. So first of all, when it comes to speed on those ships, pretty much every ship's gonna have the same top speed in space, but it's acceleration that comes into play. We've been established. It tells us outright that their ship is faster than the Imperial one.
Yeah.
They can't hyperdrive away. Rebels cannot hyperdrive away because they don't have enough energy.
Yeah.
Which fuel. They are faster, but to go faster, you're going to need to use more fuel. So all the Resistance has to do is just go slightly faster than the Empire.
I also want to point this out. People were saying, well, why can't they hit the ship? It was like
they're just outside of the range, the functional range of their weapons.
Well, no, it's a matter of size. Because remember, it was the big ship that was hitting them. It was like, why
too.
I was like, how easy is it for you to hit a fly? It is not an easy accomplishment. The size, literally, the smaller something is, the harder it is to hit. So if you got that big ass fucking Star Destroyer, good luck fucking shooting it.
And basically, And basically, when it comes to space, you reach a speed, and then you can turn off your thrusters.
Yeah.
So the Imperial ship is probably going full throttle, whereas the Rebel ship is maybe going like half throttle just to stay out of range.
Yeah.
And only speeding up when they need to. And so they're basically just keeping that distance, using barely the amount of energy they can. They're using barely any energy, and it's a good strategy. You know what the problem in the strategy comes with? It comes with the First Order. You know what they should have fucking done? All right, we're gonna send like 3 more Star Destroyers up in that direction that we're heading, hyperdrive, and we'll meet you there.
Or for me, I was like, why not just send TIE fighters?
I mean, didn't they do that eventually?
I would have just been like, send the TIE fighters. The TIE fighters are literally were designed to be faster than most ships. They're also heat.
Yeah, they'll accelerate faster than those ships, so they'll catch up quicker.
Yeah, just send the TIE fighters. They don't have much of a crew, as you see them dwindle down to one ship at one point. And just send the TIE fighter. That was the biggest plot hole for me in that scene. They could. I would
have just sent like another Star Destroyer like further up. I do like how Snoke died before we learned anything about him, and people were complaining about it. But I'm like, you go into the original trilogy, and we didn't know shit about Palpatine.
Yeah, but
we didn't know anything about Palpatine.
I don't know. For the Snoke thing, it's not that how to put it. It's not that I cared that he died and we didn't know anything about him. I just felt like he was kind of a useless character, if I'm going to be perfectly honest. He was
like Palpatine. He was Palpatine. That was it. I'll talk about this in a moment, but I like how he died. I like that he was reading the thoughts and like, but it was like clouded enough because the thing when it comes to all the stuff in the new trilogy is it's a bunch of kids trying to be the Empire and trying to be the rebels, but
Yeah.
they're not quite the Empire and the rebels. Like if you look at Hux compared to Tarkin,
Yeah, Grandma Tarkin.
Hux was being like teased around by Poe. Tarkin would have just been like, whatever, shoot him down. Why aren't you firing?
Oh, I had to say though, hold on, I want to the opening scene when Poe is fucking with General Hux was just fantastic. I love that.
Oh yeah, that's pretty fun. But at the same time, like if it was Tarkin, Tarkin would have just been like,
Blow
"What
up.
are you doing?
Yeah.
Let's just blow him up." Or like Snoke. Snoke is no Palpatine. Snoke was like describing what he's thinking. Kylo Ren was doing, but Palpatine would have like knew that like what he would have known what Kylo Ren was doing.
Yeah.
And it shows that like the connection to the Force isn't as clear cut for Snoke. Snoke's powerful, but he's not Palpatine powerful.
Also, I thought this was interesting when they first mentioned General Hux's name. I misheard it for some reason. For some reason, I thought I heard General Hugs. I was like, I know Star Wars has some weird names, but I don't think General Hugs would have been as terrifying. I'm glad I was wrong, but if that was legitimate General Hugs, it's like, well, I'm done with this movie now. Aw, it's General Hugs.
But overall, I thought it was a good movie. I like it. It's a good Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
I should preface that it's a good Star Wars movie.
I will say that one of the common complaints is like, oh, the parents aren't worth it anything, and they built it. I was like, no, you don't understand. They're still building it up.
I think he's lying to her.
I think he's lying to her, or he doesn't know. He just kind of like not talking out of his ass, but it's
Well,
kind of.
I've talked about my nitpicks. Why don't you talk about yours, or the things that you've run into people that were nitpicking, or I'll let you talk for a little bit.
Okay, sorry. People had talked about, they didn't go anywhere with Rey's parents. I'm like, no, you understand. They're trying to leave this up for more. If you ever like watched a decent movie where they've done something like this, they're trying to do build up. Basically, Kylo Ren's talking out of his ass to degrade her. This whole movie is, if you watched it, was them trying to say, forget about the past. Stop worrying about the old movies, the old series, the books and comics. Because on more than one occasion, they do exactly that. As you had pointed out on your Facebook, this is basically episode 5 in reverse.
It is episode 5 in reverse. You even end on like a planetary battle.
Yeah. And they're both planets are white. It's just one's Hoth and the other one's, I don't know what that planet's supposed to be, but it has a very much the same like feel to it. And the thing is, a lot of this movie was done for a lot of symbolism. It was like forget the past. Because at one point, Kylo Ren's telling Rey is like, we no longer have to do what the Empire and the Rebellion want. We should do our own thing, and that's what this whole movie is. The first one was a setup saying this is what happened in the old movie, because a lot of it was basically just like a well-crafted version of Episode 1 or Episode 4, excuse me. And this one's like forget the past. That has happened. We need to move on. That's what it felt like to me, anyway. This was mostly just like a very expensive symbolism movie, if you will.
Well, Star Wars is full of symbolism, and it's like the hero's journey and repeating storylines.
Yeah, that's why, like, in a previous episode, you had mentioned how like the Star Wars needs to be about the Skywalker family. I think it's purposely trying to move away from the Skywalker family.
Well, I think it's gonna find. Yeah, I think they're trying to. I'm in the camp that I think Rey is a Skywalker, but like even if it ends with Ben Solo getting killed at the end of the next movie, then it'll be the end of the Skywalker line.
Yeah,
and then it can go on from there. But right now, the sagas are for Skywalker.
Yeah. So, I don't know. To me, this felt like the whole movie was a giant symbolism. So they're going to conclude this in the third movie. They're going to talk, hopefully fix a few of these plot problems I have. My nitpicky stuff, like I said, like the unnecessary love triangle between Rose, Finn, and Rey. That annoyed me.
See, I didn't get that love triangle at all.
I don't see the point in it.
I didn't see that love triangle.
Okay, well, see, you see on occasion Rey has interest in Finn in the first movie, and then at the end of the second movie, and then towards the end of the second movie, Rose just straight up kiss Finn, admitting that she cares for him, obviously in a romantic sense.
Oh, yeah, she's the new Han Solo.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's like, okay, so you've created a love triangle, which just does not feel needed. I'm just saying, it didn't feel needed. Also, how they killed.
All right.
Also, how they killed General Fantastic.
Oh, she's fine. She went through a similar thing in the last movie and survived. She'll be back.
Let's hope so, because she went out kind of shitty.
Captain Phasma, Gwendolyn, Gwendolyn whatchamacallit. She's Brienne of Tarth. Gwendolyn Christie.
Yeah, like I said, my problem is she went out.
See,
bad.
I don't think she died because she literally the same thing happened to her in Force Awakens.
Yeah.
And she survived. Like, she'll be fine. She's gonna come back, and they're like, "How the fuck are you back?" And
the Force. Okay, yeah, all right. It worked for a lot of other stories, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it works.
But yeah, so I mean, overall, I liked it. It didn't feel the same sense of woe that 4, 5, and 6 did, and I didn't like episode 1. I'm just gonna straight up say I did not like episode 1, 2, and 3.
I actually like all the prequels. Episode 1 isn't great, but it's still fun because the fucking all right. You cannot look at me and tell me that the Duel of Fates wasn't super fucking cool.
Oh yeah, it was. I also like the music. One thing that I've always loved about Star Wars is the music. I'm not even gonna lie.
Fucking love that fucking whole fight scene was cool. But like, it's flawed. It's flawed, but it's still a fun movie.
Episode 1 could have just been treated as a flashback for episode 2. I'm just saying. You didn't.
True.
Especially since it was like a 20-minute pod racing scene.
I like the pod racing scene, but
I liked the game when it came out.
The game was fun
for the N64. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah,
but like that pod racing, like, don't fuck it. We get it. He's a good pilot. I fucking get it. Move the fuck on.
Like, it wasn't great, but I found it. I enjoyed parts of it. But yeah, is there anything else for Star Wars you want to talk about?
I'm still annoyed that they dismissed anything that's not the movies from their canon.
Well, no, they dismissed everything but the movies, and then anything now being written and made is now canon, which I don't like, because it means you have to play and read and watch everything to be caught up.
No, I was saying, like, what annoyed me is that stuff that was previously canon is no longer canon.
Uh-huh.
Like Galen Merrick, the Star Killer, he was canon, albeit initially had a dumb name because George Lucas wanted to call him Darth Icky. Moving that away from that, though, there's a lot of like canon stuff that's no longer canon.
But some of the cool stuff has become canon again, like Thrawn. Thrawn is canon.
Yeah, I know.
And I like Thrawn, but you know what made me really sad that wasn't canon? Mara Jade isn't canon anymore.
Yeah.
There's no, like, a lot of that stuff that happens afterward not being canon is what hurts me a lot.
Revan
was, you know what? I'm not even going to talk about the Old Republic stuff, because that stuff is simultaneously has always been and always hasn't been canon.
Well, like, the story of Revan going from, Jedi to Sith back to Jedi was canon.
Well, nothing says that isn't canon currently.
Well, whenever Disney bought out Lucas Studios, they said anything that's not the movies or the shows, which is like Clone
But that's
Wars.
Old Republic. Old Republic has never been like fully canon, and even then, because they're still doing the Old Republic game, it sits in a weird spot where it's so far back that it's when they talk about the stuff that isn't canon, they're talking about the stuff that is around the time of it. Like, ignore any Old Republic stuff. I like that Bane is canon. Bane is currently canon. They made Bane canon.
Yeah.
No, when you talk about stuff that isn't canon, that's hurtful, it's the stuff that happens like after the movies and during the movies. So like the whole Shadow of the Empire, that's not canon anymore.
And Bounty Hunter wasn't canon.
Bounty Hunter, Shadow of the Empire, all the stuff dealing with the Fall of the Empire isn't. No, see, the thing is like I see people do this all the time, and they bring up like, Oh man, it sucks that the Old Republic stuff isn't canon. It's like, but the Old Republic stuff was barely canon to begin with, even before Disney's takeover. The Old Republic is so far separated that it could be its own thing.
Yeah, well, I don't know. In some sense, I actually preferred the Old Republic over the movies. Well, to be fair, there was the time of the prequels, so I preferred them over the prequels. Except for the MMO. That was just. I'm talking about this.
Well, it's because they're so far away in time that it's its own thing. Like I barely count it as part of the Star Wars mythos. I honestly count it as part of its own thing. And you know who I liked in the old Star Wars one?
What was that?
Fucking Exar Kun. Exar Kun was the coolest one. Fuck Revan. It was all about Exar Kun.
Oh no, I just like Revan because the story around him, but Exar Kun was definitely the better Force user.
Fucking love Exar Kun. Didn't he actually show up in the show Rebels? I think he actually showed up in Rebels. But like, and also like the problem also people have, like people are like, oh, they should make an Old Republic game movie or something. It's like, yeah, but they're gonna do it, and it's not gonna be your character.
Yeah, well, no, hold on. How to put it? I am not one of those people who see when they make a character sees themselves. When I make a character for these RPGs, I'm making a character in a story. So for me, I have no problem watching movies like, oh yeah, that's that character. This is Revan. That's he's bald or something. Whatever they decided to go with it, they did it. I was like, oh yeah, that's just another character. The same as if like I made my own Revan. I have no problem with that concept. So I don't try and immerse myself as that person. I see it as another character in a story. That's what, like, oh, we can't do BioShock because he's so bland. I was like, well, no, you could do BioShock pretty easily.
Yeah. It's just one of those things that I get annoyed. It's like, no, your character, and it's the people who want those movies, or that to be a movie, are ones that it's going to end up being like they're going to be upset because it isn't their character. You know, it'd be an interesting one to do. The Jedi Exile.
Which one?
The Jedi Exile. The Jedi Exile. Your character from KOTOR 2?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. The Jedi Exile is pretty common in KOTOR series, believe it or not. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that would actually be a pretty interesting story.
That's why I said the Jedi Exile.
Yeah, no, that would be an pretty interesting story. Because, what was the general premise of KOTOR 2? It was Fall of Jedi, Last Jedi. Basically, it's Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's a discussion for another episode.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. They had Bane. Bane ended up being canon in Star Wars now. He showed up in Rebels and in Clone Wars.
I guess they need to justify the rule of two, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that's it for this episode. Is there anything else you want to throw in there?
No, is there anything else that you feel we should add or let our audience know about?
No, not currently. No, I don't think so.
All right. As always, you can catch us on the Twitters, the Facebooks at Geekus Speakus. Pretty easy to find us if you look for Geekus Speakus. Of course, you can email at us at gspeakus.com. We're trying to do a little bit more stuff on the social media things. Anything you need to add?
Nothing set in stone. Or of course, I'll release it whenever it gets out there. But I've guest started on another podcast.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm like I said, I'll post it if it gets released. But I'm not going to say anything until then. Beyond that, I don't think much else is going on right now. Currently, like I said, you can message us at gspeakus@gmail.com. You can also find us on YouTube. Feel free to like and subscribe our videos. Hopefully I can get some more content going there. I got a Let's Play in the works here.
I need to add more content myself, to be perfectly honest.
I have to sit down and edit. That's my biggest
That's my problem too.
No, I think that's it for this episode. Thank you all for listening.
Yeah, no, have a good time and enjoy your 2018.
Happy 2018, everyone. Have a good
Hopefully
night.
we're here next year.
Yep. And just like every episode, have a good night, everyone.
Have a good night, everybody, and take care.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to this week's episode. If you like our show, you can stay updated on our social media accounts. You can find us at Facebook at facebook.com/Geekus Speakus, or you can find us on Twitter at Geekus Speakus, and we're also on Tumblr. You can now find us pretty much wherever you find your podcast now, which is great. I would like to thank the band, the Spinwires, for their song "Girls Like You." You can find their songs and albums on Bandcamp. Check them out; they're great. I would like to thank you for listening and hope everyone has a great night.